Welcome to St. Louis on the Air. I'm Sarah Fenske. Yes, there's snow on the ground. But that doesn't mean the farmers market season is over. In fact, one of the area's most respected farmers markets is doubling down on its mission, even as the weather grows frightfully cold. The Tower Grove Farmers Market has been hosting a winter market since 2007, but it's been a monthly affair. And this year, that changes. The market's founder is here to tell us all about it. Patrick Horine, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So the Tower Grove Farmers Market Winter Market is now going weekly.
We are, yes.
Why is that?
Well, in the past, we have had a monthly market, like you said, and we've been in a space where we could have roughly 30 vendors, and we had more demand than that. We had a lot of vendors who wanted in that we had to turn away, and then we also had. We didn't have a space where the community could gather in our little space. That's a big part of our Saturday market in the park, because there's a big community gathering there.
People just like coming to hang out.
They do, yeah. So that's a big part of it, right? So we were looking for a space where we could add more vendors, bring in the community, and we found that at the Koken Art Factory. And then we decided if we were going to move, and as I've traveled around the country, I've seen pretty much every city I go to, they have a winter market that's weekly, goes year-round. So I decided I would survey our vendors and see what they thought about that, and they were almost completely positive about it. So we decided we would just go weekly and again give everybody an opportunity to shop year-round.
So something that was missing in the St. Louis market. I got to say, though, I was very surprised to hear this, and I'm sure this is just my ignorance, but the ground is frozen right now. Things are dying out there. What can farmers even sell at this point of the year?
Yeah, so every year is different. Like this year, the cold snap came pretty early.
Very early.
But our farmers, when we started in 2006, we ran from May till October. And it was really, we had produce from June to September.
Okay.
So our farmers have learned how to extend the season. They've gotten really good at it. That's been a trend around the country. The farmers are covering their crops, and they're starting their crops earlier, and they're also growing them through into the winter. We'll have fresh produce from farms like Three Rivers Community Farm that's grown in the ground. We'll have that through January, pretty much.
Oh, wow.
And then we'll have produce that can store pretty well, apples, winter squash, and that sort of thing. We'll have that until the farmers sell out. So that'll be maybe into February. And then we have hydroponic farmers who will just grow year-round.
And they're growing indoors.
Yeah, they're growing indoors, and then like our microgreen vendor, Be Simple, they have a greenhouse that they'll use throughout the winter, and they'll have a steady supply for us throughout the winter.
Okay, so there's going to be all sorts of fresh fruits and vegetables into these winter months.
Yeah, there's a lot available. Yeah.
Now, in addition to all the usual good stuff, you're offering 3 special holiday-themed markets. That's on December 7th, 14th, and 21st. What can we expect to see at those?
Okay, so those are going to be our farmers market. We'll have all of our farmers there. We'll have specialty food vendors like Cacao Chocolate and Salumi Badu and Ivan's Fig Farm, and then who you expect to see at the farmers market. But then we'll have an additional number of vendors. We're going to have probably 60 vendors or so at these markets, and the focus will be holiday shopping. So this is a way you can buy local food gifts. That's everybody likes to get food for a gift, right? And you can also buy local goods from our local artisans.
Okay, so this is a chance to do more than just the food shopping.
Exactly. We wanted people to be able to do local holiday shopping as well.
So it's just, thinking about this and all the other expansions that your farmers market has had, it's kind of, you guys are really on the move. In addition to this, you also started a weekly Sunday farmers market in the Richmond Heights area. Okay. And it seems like such a suburban area, and yet now there's a farmers market there. How has that been going with that different audience?
That one's been going really well, and this is our first year doing it weekly, and we think next year it's going to really take off. If you remember back, Clayton had one of the best farmers markets in the region, and it's now gone. And that's a part of the region that really supports local foods. So we just thought it was a natural fit to go into the boulevard there at Richmond Heights. and we the owner of the property has been really great to work with. So it's a different crowd than the Tower Grove Park Farmers Market, right? But it's doing really well.
And I understand that earlier this year, your Tower Grove Farmers Market company also took over operations of the Ferguson Farmers Market. What's going on with that?
Yes, so we took over that. We have a contract with Ferguson to run that for 3 years. And really, we were brought in, and we've seen this happen at different farmers markets as well. There'll be a change in management. Usually farmers markets are run by one person. Mm-hmm. So if you lose your manager, you lose the operation pretty much. We were brought in to kind of fill the gap. So we have the systems in place that we can just hit the ground running with a farmer's market. And because what will happen sometimes, they'll lose their manager and then they fall and they go backwards, right? Mm-hmm. Until they get it back on track. So we were brought in to kind of fill the gap, but also take it to the next level. So that we had a really good season this year, and then our over the winter this year, we're working on next year, and we think it's going to be a really good year next year, too.
Do you see this as sort of a temporary, you're helping to stabilize the ship, or down the road, is it possible that the Tower Grove market will sort of retain sponsorship of the Ferguson market?
I could see that we might have a role as a consultant of some sort, but we really want the management and ownership of it to remain with Ferguson.
Okay, yeah. So you're not trying to take this over?
No. We've, like I said, it's a 3-year contract. Just to do what we can and then hand it off and have it hopefully be in a really good place.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that these markets are often just started by kind of one person with a dream. And while it's crazy to think about today in light of all the growth that has happened with the one you started, that's really how it worked for you and your wife. You guys moved here. What led you to say, we need to start a farmer's market?
Yeah. So we moved here in 2003 from San Francisco, and we had a great farmer's market there.
Probably more than one great farmer's market there.
Right. And we we loved the Tower Grove neighborhood. That's where we still live. And we loved our neighbors and the community, and we just wanted to do something for the community. The original idea was we thought it would be a little Saturday market, that we would still have our full-time jobs and just on Saturdays be in the park running the market. And it quickly outgrew that. But yes, that was we just wanted to do it as more of really, honestly, like a gift for the neighborhood. Yeah.
So that was 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. When did you start realizing, holy cow, this is not just a hobby, this is my vocation?
It was within a year, I would say. Yeah,
okay.
It kind of took over. It made it pretty clear that I wouldn't be able to have another job.
You couldn't do it all at once.
Yeah. And I was happy to do it. I love working with food. I love working with the farmers. We have businesses that start at the market. I love helping people get started with their businesses. And
It has, and to some extent, it feels like it's almost been an incubator. For those who aren't familiar with some of the businesses that have come out of this market, what do you see as some of the success stories?
Let's see, the ones that would be most well known, and we've had dozens of businesses start there. But if you're familiar with Whisk and Poptimism, they've started there.
That's a great bakery down on Cherokee Street.
Yes, exactly.
They also have now a popsicle truck, which is amazing.
Right, exactly, yeah. So they started there. Cacao Chocolate, they have a shop in Maplewood and Clayton, and they started there. Kitchen Culture, they have a restaurant down on Watson.
Now Counterculture, yeah. That's this has been listed as some of the best, restaurants of the year.
Yeah.
And it all started with a little stall at this farmer's market.
It did. It really did, yeah. It's pretty great.
That's great. So do you have your eye on anyone now who's within this market where you're like, yep, this is the one that I see taking off next?
Let's see. There are some that we have the Made Fair granola. She's got a really strong brand, and she's been there for now 3 years, and she's really starting to take off. Every year, I can kind of identify the ones they just have it. They have it together, but they might start. It might take them a couple of years, but they develop into this, and then it's fun to watch.
So granola could be the next big thing.
Yeah, right.
So if people are interested in coming to this winter market, that's now happening. You mentioned it's the Koken Art Factory.
Yes.
And where is that?
Okay, that's at 2500 Ohio, which is Ohio and Sydney. And
Okay.
I think that's Fox Park.
Okay, so the Fox Park neighborhood now has this new winter option. Well, Patrick Horine of the Tower Grove Farmers Market, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
This is St. Louis on the Air on St. Louis Public Radio, 90.7 KWMU.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, providing more than 41,000 jobs in the production of wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details at choosewood.com.